Chamisa, mutakureyo tifambiwe. Mutakureyo tifambi. Muberekeyo tifambi. Mutakureyo tifambi. Muri Zimbabwe. Mutakureyo tifambi. Bari kuchipingi. Bari kakutu. Bari puruwayo. Bari kucholocho. Bari gwanda mambo. Bari kamutoko. Bari tariweni. Mutakurei tifambi. Mutakurei tifambi. Muri Zimbabwe. Iberekeyo tifambi. Mutakurei tifambi nayo. Mambo, mutakureyo tifambiwe. Mutakureyo tifambi. Mutakureyo tifambi mambo. Mutakureyo tifambi. Mutakureyo tifambi mambo. Mutakureyo tifambi. Mutakureyo mambo. Chamisa mambo. Mutakureyo tifambi. Muberekeyo tifambi. Mutakureyo tiyabuke. Ngere mambo. Mutakureyo tifambi. Mutakureyo tifambi mambo. Bari taruweni. Bari kwamurewa. Mutakureyo tifambi. Mutakureyo tifambi. Bari kwanyashanuri. Itsivari nembwena. Nyururayo tifambi mambo. Nyururayo tifambi. Mutakureyo tiyendima. Tiberekeyo tiyabuke. Zivari nembwena.
Greetings, good people. My name is DJ Oli and welcome to the I hope you are good. I hope everyone is happy. Good Friday to everyone. Let us know where you are watching us from. Put a comment in the super chat or top chat so that we can give you some shout outs. Today we have an interesting topic. We want to know. We have a lot of questions. Why Nelson Chamisa? Like what I said before in the previous live, I said I'm going to come back on Friday with this exciting content, exciting topic. Right, without wasting much of your time, Rega, jambire interview yedu. But in Sandataura Zagawanda, let me just give you a background to some of you who doesn't know who Advocate Nelson Chamisa is. Advocate Nelson Chamisa wakaberekwa musi wa 2 February 1978 kumasvingo mu Zimbabwe. He studied political science and law at the University of Zimbabwe. He holds a degree in technology and various leadership certificates. He joined politics in the late 90s as a student leader. Became MDC National Youth Chairperson in 2000. Elected as member of Kwazana East in 2003. He served as Zimbabwe's youngest cabinet minister, heading the ICT, postal and sorry about that. Okay, he served as Zimbabwe's youngest cabinet minister, heading the ITC, postal and courier services during the 2009 to 2013 government of national unity. Chino chaanonyanyozikanwa nacho Advocate Nelson Chamisa ndechekuti ichoni anopiwa sando dzake pakuti mombe dzaitenga line sim card, but iye paakasvika sim card vakomana vemombe vakatanga kufonerana. Credited with modernizing Zimbabwe's telecommunication sector. Appointed as MDC Vice President by Morgan Tsvangirai in 2016. Became MDC Alliance President after Tsvangirai's death in 2018. Vakomana CV racho tikadauramba tichiripinda ka tinogona kutoswerera tichingotaura, but apa ndangoti ndingokupai just a background so that you get to know who Advocate Nelson Chamisa is. Right now, let me call my guests and then tatutanga kufamba nendima, because we've got a lot of things that we want to talk about. Why Nelson Chamisa? Why, out of all the people, why Nelson Chamisa? Early this year he resigned and then he said, I'm retiring from this toxic party called CCC and I'll be back. From that time until now, people, they are still talking about him. Why Nelson Chamisa? We've got opposition leaders like Monzora, and we've got the Watchmen Ngobes, we've got the Tshabangus, but each and every day, Varakashi, they are working hard and extra hard to make sure that they destroy Nelson Chamisa. So why did Morgan Tsvangirai appointed Nelson Chamisa to be the vice president? Ndo mashoko atuda kufamba nawo muswara nasi, ndo nyaya atuda kuti tikurukure tinzoti zvakaita sei zvakamira sei. Let me call my guest tifambe neshoko.
Mutakureyo tifambe mambo. Mutakureyo tifambe. Mutakureyo tifambe mambo. Mutakureyo tifambe.
Yes, hello?
Hello.
Hello, yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Right. Masquera say, Baba.
Masera.
Sorry, there was someone calling me. Please, guys, don't call me. Taura. You can just text and then talk. Yeah. Thank you for joining us once again. I know you've a busy schedule and but you are dedicating your time for us, Vanavevu, so that we get to know some of these hidden things that we didn't know. So today we are talking about Advocate Nelson Chamisa. Why Nelson Chamisa? Before I go any further, let me give a special thanks and a special shout out to my sister Rumbi Uncensored. Thank you very much for supporting Point 5 Creative Studios. To those who doesn't know who Rumbi is, I think you must just go on YouTube and search Rumbi Uncensored, and then you'll see amazing stuff happening there, and you'll be amazed. So without wasting much of your time, let's dig in. You can greet the viewers and then we start talking about this.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you to your viewers and listeners. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Zimbabwe. My greetings to you all, wherever you are, wherever you're watching from. Good evening.
Right. Today we want to talk about Nelson Chamisa. And I understand and I believe you were never part of the opposition from day one. You were never part of MDC, but there are things that you have noticed during the interaction with various people. Can we start from there and then you take us through?
Okay. Thank you. Why Chamisa? Indeed, why? Even me talking about Chamisa. I have never been in his party. I speak about Chamisa for one or two reasons.
Yes.
I hear people talk about Chamisa in many cases, many platforms, and largely blaming him for a lot of things. I saw just this week he was being summoned to appear before the Royal Commission. Right. In our last discussion, I had said people blame Chamisa for the loss of MDC Alliance in 2018. Blame Chamisa for the loss of Triple C in 2023. And I said, no, I think it's a misplaced blame. It does not really mean anything. Chamisa, I'm going to talk to about today is Chamisa that has never left his party. Is Chamisa who have saved through since the formation of the MDC. Many names have been there. But fast forward, Chamisa lost to Monzora in 2014 Congress, where he was vying for the Secretary General. I'm not going to talk about his previous positions and so on, because I don't think he is necessary for this interview, and I've never been in his party, so I don't know how they were. But after the split of MDC 2005, 2014, and which year was that, when there was this MDC 1999, the issue of Mangoma and so on. That was their internal problems. But because of his resilience and commitment to the party, he remained steadfast. And Chamisa, after the 2013, Tsvangirai, after the 2013 election, sorry, when MDC lost all the seats they had gained in the election of 2008, he decided to call back all his former comrades that he started with together the MDC. And he did not ask them to dissolve their party or do anything, but to form the alliance. I think that was the time they started now talking the idea of the alliance. Some of us at that time we had just experienced the 2008 violence. And we did not subscribe to that. In my last interview, I did indicate that I'm one of the people who refused, and many other war veterans, to participate in that campaign, the rerun of June 2008. And when Tsvangirai was now speaking of unity, we started getting his direction, what he wanted to do, because maybe just to touch 2000, a little bit of it, 1999. I'm not going to go deeper to that. Why Tsvangirai lost the favor of the war veterans in 1999? It was simply because the more diesel coming mantra is what destroyed Tsvangirai at that time. Had Tsvangirai said no, vadhara magarisa kubva 1980 kuzosvika nhasi amusati madzadzikisa zvido zvehodo, like the land issue, Tsvangirai would be the president. I said I don't want to go deeper to that, but you recall it was the very same year when we forced Mugabe to pay the 50,000 to the war veterans, and at the same time forced Mugabe that we are now repossessing the land. That was the same period. I'm simply saying this so that you understand the context, you understand where we're coming from. So Mugabe agreed. Some political gurus had refused that we redistribute the land or reclaim the land. But Mugabe did agree. Fast forward to 2008, we realized that indeed, even on our own party, a lot of things were happening which were not in line with what we fought for. Now, when Tsvangirai was now calling for this unity, some of the war veterans, some of us, starting from 2015, we started interacting with some of the leaders who were close to Tsvangirai, and including himself, as war veterans, said, no, we were highlighting the things that were not content with in his policies. And he was also telling us his side of the story. But the major issue that he made us really to believe in him, it's when he said, don't you think war veterans were edging out, all of you? The leadership also is edging out. If I were, he was now telling us, if I were you, the war veterans, I'll be persuading the president to say it is the time to recruit the youngsters, mentor them. Whatever policy you are bringing, let the young people champion that or be part of that. Right? So we bought the idea. Indeed, we did sell that to some other comrades and the others. But the gist of the matter that I want just to talk about, the meeting that was so crucial to us, it was that even Robert Mugabe had agreed that, yes, we need to put the young people. But who are those young people?
Yes.
And in this discussion, this is between 2015, before 2016, right? Which made it Tsvangirai to go back also to his team. I don't know how they discussed or whether he did inform others, I don't know. But looking at the people, right, I will not talk very much about saying, no, if I bring this one, this will happen. I'm not going to talk about that. But I'm simply trying to single out Chamisa. It was that time that Tsvangirai said, if it is the youth, if it's the young people, I am ready, I as Morgan, to step down in the MDC after the 2018 election and allow a young blood to recruit, even if I'm going to participate, but I will recruit young people. We also had our own list, the likes of Rasukwere and many others, that we had said all will try and bring them. Of course, we had a resistance from the President Mugabe. Remember, I said, my team, I and my friends, we had a lot of meetings with Mugabe direct, face to face. Right. He was so reluctant to say, who exactly are we going to put? Is it not going to divide the party? I remember in one of the meetings when we were mentioning certain names, he said, yes, it is true what you are telling me. But remember, these are the people that I've worked with for a very long time. And I don't know you, but I know these people. So it was part of the discussions. So when he finally now called for a big tent in 2016, right, we went to his house, there were 6 of us. And they said, it's only 1.5 years now to go for election. What is your position? Similarly, we went to our president. We spoke to him. Of course, some of the senior leaders in ZANU PF also. What is our strategy? You remember last time in our discussion, I even indicated to you or to the people that the interface was not about Women's League. It was about war veterans and the youth. But of course, some people made a blunder. They started bringing in the Women's League, headed by Grace Mugabe. Then the program completely changed. Right. So Chamisa was brought in by Tsvangirai to buttress our idea of forming the Generation 40. So the Generation 40 was a principle that we wanted to go with. We are saying we as war veteran, that time I think I was about 68 or 69, thereabout, 66, 7, so thereabout, but I was in the above 65 years old. So I was asking myself and many others, at this age, where do we go? What can we correct that we failed to correct in the last 65 years? And we agreed. And Tsvangirai had already developed some symptoms of his health that, he was deteriorating. His health was now deteriorating. But we could not do these things publicly, because it was dangerous to do so. But Mugabe knew about it. And fast forward 2017, or in fact, from 2016, when we gathered as war veteran in Masvingo, we had that strategy. I even told you at some point, within the cycles of the war veterans, we discussed about these things. And the clever people, those who wanted to have a coup, lied to us, saying, no, Mugabe had said, no, you people right now, you'll become the Council of Elders. Allow others to lead because you have been leading this campaign. Now, having that in mind, okay, we said we're old now, maybe it is true. But when we finally met Mugabe denied in front of Segaramai, said, I never said that. But it was now the beginning of the planning of the coup in 2017. So when all these things were happening, Chamisa, I don't know whether Tsvangirai did call him to tell him why he has appointed him to be the vice president. But I think some of the leaders knew this is why there was so much resistance from Kupe. Because she knew that once that happens, Chamisa will be the next president, or will team with some other people from ZANU PF to form a new Zimbabwe, led by the Generation 40. So that's how we met with Tsvangirai. That's why I am saying Chamisa has never missed a step. He has never. People can say anything what they want, but he has never missed the step. Right. Anything you want to ask now?
Okay, someone is saying our volume is too low. Can you please confirm if you can hear us loud and clear? I just adjusted the volume just a little bit. Yeah, if you've got questions, please come, just post the questions and then I will ask them. At the moment, I don't have questions, but I will just wait for the people to give us some questions. And the other thing that I also want to ask while I'm still waiting for people to come in with questions is that, okay, thank you, Lucy. You said it's loud and clear. And yeah, you said you went, we don't want to mention names, we don't want to mention the locations and stuff. What made you visit Morgan Tsvangirai as war veterans?
Yes, yes. I think I've already elaborated that. Starting even from 2000, the only thing why Chamisa lost the trust from the war veterans was the more diesel coming. Remember, MDC, because of the people who were now coming in, particularly the white community, who came in and changed the movement for democratic change to a more diesel coming and so on and so on. We said, no, this will derail our land reform. So this is how we lost our trust. But otherwise, we had already heard his message. We had already worked. I worked with Tsvangirai in the trade union movement. I think I did mention this last time, that I know all of them, those who were in the trade union. 2008, what happened in 2008 did not go well with it, particularly those coming from Zebra. What happened in 2008, really, we did not participate and we did not like it. We campaigned against it, and some of us were even threatened by being expelled from the party. Were told the rebels, were called names and names and names, right? But why did we go?
Yes.
When we came up with the idea of forming, of transforming politics and involving the youth, he had already started speaking about that. You remember at one of his rallies, he said, even if I come into power, really, what do I do with my old man who is already in his 80s? I'll retire him peacefully, respectfully. So the idea of recycling the old generation came from Tsvangirai, and some of us, we bought that idea. And when he called for this big tent, we said this is opportunity. And when he brought in the name of the youth, before he had even mentioned the Chamisa, we had also now grooming our youth. I've mentioned some of their names. I don't want to mention a lot, but one of the people that we as war veterans, we had in mind was Gasuguel, to be groomed. And that's the reason why we went to him to say, what about this idea? You have talked about it, and we have done everything. Even in his speech, if you listened, when he was invited to speak in Parliament on the day of demonstration or in preparation for the impeachment of the Mugabe, when he said, mentioning the Matematanda was there, he said, takagara kare, I'm glad because nhasi mazobvuma. Takagara kare tazoona kuti mukuru akura. Let him go and rest. Right? Vana Matematanda, people were refusing totally to make any association with MDC, but we had already started that move.
Okay, I understand that. Let's move away from Chamisa just for a minute. Let's talk about the ruling party. the ruling party at the moment, as we can see, kwakazara vanhu vechikuru ana baba vedu, vamwe vakarwa hondo, vamwe vasina, and right now they have lost respect kuvafana vechidiki simply because they are not doing it the right way. And even ZANU PF kwacho, we've got my youth league, they are fighting for positions, vamwe vari kuba vari kuita sei zvinhu zvakasiyana siyana. But what I want to ask now, do you see ZANU PF still surviving, let's say, in the next 10 years? Because madhara ese aya ari kukura, whether vanogona daramba vachitonga, but ichasvika time yekuti nyama ichange yaneta. Are they doing anything, or do you see any future vachigrooma the young ones who can take over the ship, kana kuti ndokuchabva kwangu kuparara kweZANU PF?
The problem that is with ZANU PF right now, it maybe if Mka was still there, maybe we could be speaking something else different. But the problem is that the toxic of ZANU PF politics has now been injected into the young people. ZANU PF has no time to groom young people. ZANU PF does not want anyone coming from outside the war veteran type, or the detainee type, or the Zimbabwean type. They still wanted to maintain that we fought for this country. We fought for this country. And the young people who are coming up in ZANU PF, surely even wherever they are listening now, and I hope they understand this, and I know they understand it, but they have no choice. None of them have a passion or have a zeal to say, let me think outside the box and look at Zimbabwe as a Zimbabwe. That's the problem with ZANU PF. When Bodakes, the National Youth Service was formed by Bodakes, what was the intention? The intention was that they are doctrined to believe that ZANU PF in Europa. Right?
Yes.
And this, there is no chance, even now as we speak now, if you can ask him, Mnangagwa, who is your possible successor? When are you intending to step down, and who are you grooming from the young people? He will tell you nothing. Absolutely nothing. You see, it was that was the very same reason that made us to say, no, let us allow young people now. And the formation of Generation 40, which is commonly known as G40, was simply to try and involve the young people, because it is their future. It is them who are going to suffer the consequences of our sins. So they don't have that strategy. All they have is to maintain. There is no legacy. Anyway, the word legacy is too paralyzed. I don't know the interpretation, how many definitions you can give to legacy. Because even thieving, even witchcraft is a legacy. So we are saying, what kind of a legacy are we leaving behind? What kind of a legacy are we leaving behind? The people that we are grooming them on how to steal, how to be disrespectful, how to physically harm somebody. If you look at the culture of ZANU PF, if you don't agree, they will not reason with you to agree. They will physically assault you, physically harm you in order for you to agree or to toe the line. not even to agree. Right. So the question of Vakura, yes, Vakura. What is their plan? There's no plan except togarira ipapa. Patakagara ipapa ndikasimuka apa vanozoona kuti apanapa ndaita tsvina ndoramba ndiripo kusvikira ndafa. That is the strategy they have. There is nobody who participated in the war physically who is less than 60 years. Nobody. Because Zimbabwe is 44 years else. He is 44 years old, right? And if you are 56 or 50 years or whatever, you subtract 44, that means you are telling us that you joined the armed struggle at the age of 14 years. Is that what you are telling us? So the war veterans, the really war veterans who participated, the really Mchipas, the really Chimbwilos are all over 60 years now. You see what I mean?
Yes.
So these are the things I was talking about. Why I made a reference to Chamisa is that people blame Chamisa without knowing exactly why is he doing what he's doing. Right? I don't know they are in their camp, but Chamisa is doing what he's doing because his focus is on Zimbabwe. That was the vision of Tsvangirai. So to blame Chamisa today and say, why is he not talking? Why is he not saying this? Is a misplaced blame, real uncalled for. I said in our last video, if Chamisa in 2018, he went to court to contest the results of the election. When he was defeated in court, it was not because elections were not rigged. The court did not listen to that. The court only wanted what the other party were saying, give us the V11. That's how he lost the case. So it was a technical loss, not a legal loss. Right? 2023, there was no need for Chamisa to go to court because Sadiq had already presided over or advocated over that matter. Right? The elections were already condemned. And what do you go to court for? To contest what? When you make an application to court, you will say you are contesting what? Sadiq has already told you that out of 23 guidelines of Sadiq on election have been 17 has been violated and only 4 were followed. And when you go to court, you say the Sadiq has said this and you court you are doing this. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Fast forward, elections have been condemned. The MDC, I don't want to talk about them because I'm not a member of MDC. But really, they go to Parliament. What were they saying to Chamisa? What were they saying to Chamisa? Simply to say, Chamisa, me as an MP in constituency A, I won. And there's only you who were rigged. Me, I fairly won against the ZANU PF. Right?
Yeah.
So what you are talking about, what Sadiq is talking about, they are only talking about you and Mnangagwa, not us. Right?
Yeah.
Second, to the next step, they get to Parliament. They boycott the first opening of Parliament. Chamisa says 14 of them are suspended. Chamisa says, all right, you have now seen that these people are not with you. These people are not following the law, right? Pull out in solidarity. He first gave a 14-day ultimatum. After 14 days, even before the end of 14 days, some had already gone back to Parliament. Then the next day you wake up and say, why Chamisa is not talking? Why he did not call for demonstrations? The very same person who is saying that, what did he do himself? You want to call Chamisa to call for demonstrations, and when people are killed, you say it is him.
Yes.
Then the next day you blame Sadik. Sadik is quiet. We have written letters. What do you expect Sadik to do when you have refused to accept their report yourselves? Supporting ZANU PF, who said Sadik chelu chelu. You supported them. So this is why I'm saying no. Maybe people don't understand where Chamisa is coming from. Firstly, Tsvangirai himself had faith in Chamisa. Mugabe himself had faith in Chamisa. It's not that he voted because he was angry. He knew Chamisa was to be groomed to become a national leader. In spite of all this thing, the coup and what, if that coup had not been placed come 2018, we would have seen Chamisa rising. And their intelligence informed them. They knew about this thing. This is why they, Mnangagwa, set on the judges to say, anyone recognizing Chamisa, I'll remove you from the bench. This is why you find even the police themselves, anything to do with Chamisa, it has to be destroyed, because they know he was anointed by these two leaders, even if they were rivals. Right? And Kasukuwere, they are doing what they are doing to him today. They know Mugabe's intention. This issue of saying Mugabe wanted to put his wife, I don't want to call it a rubbish. Let me say it's also a misinterpretation of the situation at that time. People did not understand what was happening. I agree that the talk and some utterances made by Grace sometimes were out of context. But the thing is, Mugabe had agreed. This is why we, the war veterans, after having spoken with Tsvangirai, said the interface now must be between the youth, the war veterans, and the president. Right. Kasukuwere, as the commissar, was going to head that thing. And also as a youth, we go all 10 provinces. Mugabe meeting with the war veterans, meeting with the Njibas, meeting with the youth. Because that's when we wanted to identify the youth and see who were going to be groomed after 2018 elections. Right. So that's how I came to mention the name of Chamisa. Is part of that thinking, your generation 40 taking over. Right.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for everyone who is watching at the moment. I've got a couple of questions here and a couple of contributions coming from various people. So let me start with this one. This one is a compliment. He's saying from Jealous. He said, "I love this man because his intel is top notch. Uyakhuluma iqiniso lo baba. If Zimbabwe delivered, if God deliver this country to Zimbabweans, this man must be." Let me see. Okay, where am I? This man. Okay. Sorry. Let me just read it all off again. I love this man because of his intel is top notch. Uyakhuluma iqiniso lo baba. If God delivered this country to Zimbabweans, this man must be given the time to tell us the truth from the war days. That's a compliment coming in there. And there's another one. I will rephrase this question so that it doesn't come direct to you. So this one is saying from Lucy, saying, "My question is, you war veterans have failed as citizens, and Chamisa has failed to assume power. Why you blame him if you know the bad politics of ZANU PF?" So this one is just saying, why do people blame Nelson Chamisa? Yet we know ZANU PF, they use forces, they use intimidation, and they use each and every tactic they can so that they can hold on to power. So why people do keep on blaming Nelson Chamisa? Yet isusu takagara kudzimba dzedu, we are not doing anything. And tinotoziva kuti ZANU PF is dangerous, and ZANU PF inoshandisa chisimba pakutonga nepakuita zvese, inotongera chitororo. So that's a question. I think you can answer that one, and then I'll move on to the next one.
Okay. I think that the question here, he has already answered him or herself. I totally agree. We war veterans, we have let you down. Yes. Why I'm agreeing with you, what is happening is not what we fought for. What is happening is not what we expected. True. Why did we participate in this thing? Why did we participate? After the war, I think I've made this very clear. All of us, we submitted ourselves to the party. But after the unit accord, after the up to 2005, up to 14, thereabout, we started realizing these things. The first thing, in 1999, we took a resolution as war veterans that one of the reasons why Lancaster House failed, almost collapsed, was the land. In our armed struggle, in our lives during the armed struggle, why we gave up our everything for to join or to execute the armed struggle, was the land. Mwana wevu mntane nhlabathi. Sons and daughters of the soil. That was the reason why we had to take arms. If it wasn't like that, we would have got our independence in 1963-64. But because the principal thing, or the principal thing that we wanted was the land, which was stolen from us. And in 1999, I've already said that we forced the government. Mugabe was not in the country, by the way. Some people call it invasion. That's not invasion. We did not invade anyone. Right. All what we wanted was, let's share the land that we have. Right. So the question from the viewer who is asking, we have let you down. In 1999, also appreciate that we tried to fulfill what we fought for. 2000, we got into the farms. We distributed. The method used may not be good, but it was a try. How after the acquiring of the land, what did we do with that land? Is a subject for another day. But the bottom line is, we tried to show Zimbabweans that what we fought for was not only to walk or to be allowed to walk in the streets of Bulawayo and Harare. We wanted the land. We wanted to bring our people who were forced to go and settle in Northern Rhodesia or in Nyasaland to come back to their land, which they were displaced from after the Second World War, given to whites. And why we went to war, it was because of that. If we had agreed to say, no, we can need a political power or a sharing of everything. Zambia got its independence in 1964, Malawi the same thing. We would also have gone there. But because our leaders at that time had said, what we want is our land that was stolen from us. So we tried to respond to that. Second question. True. I'm also puzzled, as your viewer is, why people blaming Chamisa. What are you doing to assist the Chamisa? Why? ZANU PF, I've already said this, ZANU PF calls itself Sangano, or the movement of the blood, Nderopa. I've already said that ZANU PF up to today, if you ask anyone from ZANU PF, how do you convince someone to join ZANU PF now, as we speak now? How? The only way you can make someone join ZANU PF is cohesion. You force him to be member of ZANU PF, or else you are not going to get food, you are not going to get water, you are not going to board public transport, you are not going to, your children are going to be harassed at school. So to avoid all these things happening to you, you need to tour ZANU PF way. So I agree with the person who posted that question. Yes, ZANU PF does make force. Any other question?
Okay. Let me see. Let me just go back to some questions. Okay. You mentioned in your previous video when you said the same problems that Nelson Chamisa is facing right now with Emmerson Mnangagwa was the same problems that Joshua Nkomo was facing with Robert Mugabe, meaning to say he chose peace, and then he said, guys, let's unite, and then they sit together. Right now we see people there asking Nelson Chamisa to say, just give the word and then we'll go to and demonstrate. But he is choosing peace over demonstrations. I don't know, can you just take us back into Joshua Nkomo's time in Nelson Chamisa's
Yes.
time, for the benefit of those who missed the previous interview, and then we'll go to the next question.
Yes. The first thing I said, when immediately after independence, even immediately, I will not talk about what happened in Mozambique and Tanzania and elsewhere between among ourselves. Let me talk immediately after independence.
Yes, it's fine.
We were attacked by ZANU. That time we were still armed. So we fought. ZANU was supported by the Smith regime. General Walls was still the commander then. And we fought among ourselves. And the blood was lost. Unnecessary. Blood was... Those of you who do not know, ask those old people who live in Bulawayo. The railway tracks that were filled with the dead bodies, ask, was that necessary? Then Joshua Nkomo, having seen that, despite the fact that ZAPU or ZIPRA that time was gaining an upper hand, even if ZANU was being supported by Smith, the Rhodesia forces. Nkomo chose peace. Those who live in Bulawayo, they'll tell you that he sent commanders to call for ceasefire and go for integration. We did that. When he became the Minister of Home Affairs, one of his duty was to transform the British South African police into a Zimbabwe Republic police. And his vision was it has to be a people's force, a people service. But when Mugabe wanted to use the police against civilians, it is agreed to an extent that he has to move out of the government. So, no, this is not working. As he was moving, some of his colleagues who were together in government remained in the government. So this is the same thing that Chamisa I'm talking about in 2023. When he said to pull out of the parliament, they refused. So Joshua Nkomo went through that.
Yes.
But he still remained calm. Later he became the vice president after 1987. He agreed for the benefit of peace. He said, I'm signing this unit accord to stop this savagely killing of people. Midlands and Matabele lost more than 30,000 people. That's not a joke. That's a genocide. But Joshua Nkomo said, I know it is painful, even if I'm going to sign this unit accord. It's a betrayal to those who have already died. He chose peace over that. And Chamisa is going through that. He said, I don't want to go to State House over dead bodies. Not in my name. I know somebody, even this morning, someone was asking me a question to say, why do you want to equate Chamisa and Joshua Nkomo? I'm not doing that. But these are facts. So Chamisa chose peace. And Joshua Nkomo, after losing 32,000 plus people, up to today as we speak, if you went to Matabeleland and Midlands, the people who are 40 years old today have no birth certificate, have no national registration certificate, up to as we speak. But he still chose peace. Today you are accusing Chamisa of reading scriptures. You say he's a president of scriptures. All that is an effort to try and bring peace. But you and I, we are letting him down. If we were not letting him down, we would not have remained in parliament after the elections of 2023. We would have walked away. That's a good demonstration. And Sadiq would have come in. Look what is happening in Mozambique. There is violence in Mozambique. People are dying just for the cause of election. And the Chamisa has consistently said no life should be lost on account of election. Simply because there is one election and somebody must lose life for that. Let's stop that. Right. So this is why I said, when somebody had raised this question, the same what Chamisa is going through is exactly what Joshua Nkomo went through. This is how we're subjected to. I told you, those who were listening in our last video, I was detained in Koromons from 11 February 1982 to 21 November 1984. I don't remember, I don't forget these days, these dates. I was there. Never appeared in any court. But I was detained underground. Underground cell. Which you guys, you have never experienced. You have never seen it, how it looks like. Right. So we went through that. Why should we really every morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, sit it down and plan how to kill somebody where there is no war? Simply because we are contesting, we have different views, we are contesting on ideas. Then you say, why did he differ with me? He must die. But when Chamisa calls you and say, this will also be held responsible, withdraw, let these things happen, that parliament will not have stood of 2023, will not have experienced the Tshabangu, what do you call it, tsunami, will not have seen the Tshabangu tsunami if we had pulled out of parliament immediately after the announcement.
Yeah, I get it.
Tshabangu would not have anyone to recall.
Okay, I have another
but
question.
We sanitized it. And they gave his ZANU PF to use the Tshabangu to reduce us into zero so that they achieve the 2020, I mean the 2/3 majority they wanted. And this is what happened.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much for answering that question. And I've got another one here that's saying, well, Nelson Mandela style leadership does not work in Zimbabwe. Mugabe set the bar for leadership style.
Yes. Yes, true. I really did say this in our last interview, that when Mugabe came to Mozambique, the first thing he wanted to do was to eliminate. This is why Tongokara died. Tongokara did not die because of anything. It was because of a principle of the revolution which Mugabe and Mnangagwa did not agree. And they was killed. And the Mugabe, when he came to Mozambique, he made sure he's going to implant the tribal or tribalism strategy. And he, together with his cronies, the Rex Nongos and company, made sure that these other minority grouping should not see the leadership. That's how Chitepo was killed. And immediately after that, Tongokara was killed. And the Zezurus took over. That's tribalism. That's the. I did say that you guys don't be fooled about this tribal thing. It's dangerous. It does not only end. When they were demarcating provinces, the Zezuru provinces, into 4, the Zezurus. But when they want you to assist them fighting another tribe in Matabele and Miklands, they say we are shown as they invite Makaranga from Maswingo. They invite Manika from Manikaland. They say we are shown as let's go and kill Mandebeles. Which Ndebeles? Which Ndebeles? Tongas, Nambias, Kalangas, Soto, Vendors. But when they want to do their thing, they said, no, we the Zulus, we are the majority because we're 4 provinces. Makaranga aside, Maniga aside. So that's how I can answer that question.
Okay, thank you very much for that one. And I don't know how is my volume now. Joseph is saying, volume please. We have waited for 45 years for these revelations. This man is intelligent and knows all the history. It's a compliment coming from Joseph right there. And then there's another one from Chaitezi. What strategy can Chamisa employ because ZANU PF isn't willing to respect the people's vote? And let me just go through the other one and then you can do them together. Why did Chamisa enter politics if he is not strategic? It is like wanting to win a battle without weapons. Let me just do the last one for now and then we can tackle those one. Now we have seen where the problems are coming from. Help us with the solution on what can we do to come out of this mess. I think I'll stop there and then I'll read the others. I don't know if you can respond to those ones.
Okay. The first one I think was a compliment. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a compliment. Yeah.
You have waited for 45 years to get this thing.
Exactly.
True. Okay. True. You have.
The second one is
I'm speaking now because. Come again.
Oh, okay. No, I thought you were done. I wanted to go to the second one. You can finish up.
Okay. Yes, true. We have waited for 45 years. I'm speaking now because I have a freedom to speak now. It has taken me 7 years to get a platform like this one. What was the second one, by the way?
The second one was what strategy can Chamisa employ because ZANU PF isn't willing to respect the people's vote?
Right. Let us, all Zimbabweans, you young people, I know most of the people you are asking young people.
Yes.
resuscitate the G40 movement. Rally behind that. Among yourselves, you have leaders. Among yourselves, you have courage. Among yourselves, you have different views. Put those views together, form one front. You know this is your future. You know how you want to look like in the next 10 years. You know what your ambitions are. You know what you want Zimbabwe to look like in the next 30 years. You know. And there's nobody who is going to do this for you. It is you. Put a demarcation and they say, thank you, madalas. Thank you, fathers. Thank you, mothers. You brought us here. You have been trying. You tried and tried. But this is where we are today. Can we be allowed now to move forward with our own ideas? If you have that approach united, look what is happening in Mozambique. Young people across political divide are saying, no, 50 years of this nonsense, we can't accept it anymore. We now, even if Frelimo tried to put a 44, 45-year-old, they said that train is already ruined. It has no wheels to take us where we want to go. Let us bring our own train. Remove this train from the rail line and we put our own train. Why can't you do so in Zimbabwe? Why can't you do so? If you are asking this question, if immediately after the 2023 election, you had said, guys, all of you who are going into parliament, we are disassociating ourselves from you. What platform, which territory you want to, you are saying you want to go and deliberate? You are protecting. Which one? We are completely disassociating with you. Step aside. There are no elections in Zimbabwe. You would have achieved what you want to achieve. Thank you.
And there is another question that just come in now. Let me see here. Let me see if I can get it on screen first. And then this one is saying, from Clayton, he's saying, are you saying youth must come together, or you are saying let us rally behind the ZANU PF G40?
G40 is not a political party. G40 is not a ZANU PF. Generations are not created by ZANU PF. G40 was just a platform to say, youth, wake up. I'm a war veteran.
Yes.
Right? I'm a war veteran. But I support the principle of Generation 40. Because I know, even if I want to run, even if I love meat so much, even if I love I can't do it. So I'm saying, take over. And this is those war veterans who were well trained, you know, that even in the battlefield, even any given strategy, you know that you say, I've run here, so this region, we have put another unit, that we have put another unit. This unit will go up to here, then the other one takes over from there. I'm not saying rally behind the ZANU PF G40. You are being misled if you think G40 was a ZANU PF project. You are being misled. I was in ZANU PF. I've never been an MDC member since its formation in 1999. I have been a ZANU PF up to the time I left. It doesn't mean when I'm speaking, I'm mobilizing for ZANU PF. ZANU PF is a rotten organization. Instead, it has lost its test. Yangofana nenyama yaunongoramba uchingoitsenga worara wakafumbatira pamuromo kuti ndozomuka haisisina kana kusupa ichanzviki. That's how ZANU PF is now. Right. I could be now, as you talk about this G40 ZANU PF, I'm ZAPU. In and out, I'm ZAPU. But I support the young people coming together, taking some of the things from us, condemn what you want to condemn as long we have a replacement. So the replacement of the condemned space in us is with you. You are holding those spare parts. I don't have a spare part. You have the spare part. So it is your struggle. It is your generation. Want me to say generation 50? They are already finished. So I am saying leadership in Africa today, look at what is happening in West Africa. Young people, not even generals. Look at this boy, Traore. What rank is he holding in the army? But he's commanding generals. And how old is he? Why don't you have that spirit of envy? That spirit of wanting to be like somebody? You will continue saying, we are good around in the ZANU PF. Ini mazuva angu atopera ndisina basa. Okay.
Yes, Iowa. Thank you very much for that question. I think, yeah, we still have time, and I was just going through my notes to see some of the things that we talked about. There was a topic that I want to introduce now, but it's for next week, so that the people, they will know what we are going to talk about next week. How and where did General Chiwenga missed the point? We talked about that, and then I just wrote it down, and then we said we're gonna talk about it on another day. So I just want us on when we are closing now to talk about it just a little bit as a way of paving way for next week, and then next week we'll talk about this. Where exactly did he miss it? He didn't know that the two are brothers, and he was not forced as such akanyengedzwa to be given the position of a VP achieve army. So right now everyone is saying he's powerless. I'm not sure about that, but you being there, knowing that, the army operates like this, the war vets, we used to operate like this, our rankings are like this, who's got the power, the army general or the VP, something like that. So I just want us to just pave way for the next discussion.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Just in brief, in ZANU, the general is more powerful than the politicians. You remember, even our last interview, I spoke about Darere Chimurenga.
Yes.
Was chaired by the military, as opposed to ZAP, where it was chaired, the Revolution Council was chaired by a civilian. And the army commanders will only attend. So that's the difference. 2, ZANU was never, he was not militarized at home. It was militarized outside. I did speak about this to say Samora Machel came to us and they said the leader must come from you people here. Forget about those. And we refused to accept that idea. We from the Zipra side. So the general is bigger than the party. In his last days, Mugabe said, no, it's not, it is the opposite. No, the party leads the gun, not the gun leading the party. But he had simply forgotten what he did in Mozambique. Right. 2, where did the general really miss the step? Arrogance. If he's listening now, I know they know my voice because they always come to my inbox. If he's listening now, I went there to his office together with Colonel Dube, and they told him, ukuthi, this game, as long as Uvarerio is in it, Uvarerio is a brother to Mnangagwa. I'm from Bulawayo. I went to the deeds office. This is what I discovered. He ignored. We had several meetings at Defense House before we went to Maswingo's elections of the war veterans. When Mjuru, the Gamma talks were removed, the chairman who was chairing war veterans at that time was Jabulani Spanda. I differed with Jabulani Spanda personally, whom I had worked with for a very long time, because he had now started insulting the ZAPU leaders to an extent of saying the only Msiga I know is Zimbabwe and Makokoba, meaning the vice president, the president of ZAPU, who was Joseph Msiga. To an extent of calling joining Nkomo, what do you call this? What do you call this? The LGBT grouping, this Nkochani. Right? A homosexualist speaking to the vice president of ZAPU. That's how I differed with him. I said, no. Even if the unit is going to be like this, I'm pulling out. And I campaigned to his downfall. When we were gathered in Harare, Mugabe came. It was me and the others who went to 14th floor to talk with Mugabe. When we came down, we found Mtasa being humiliated by people. Urigama Toksiwe. That's when they destroyed him, Jew. And immediately from there, I remember at one meeting telling Webster Sham to say, this Jablan you are supporting is because he has never told you kuti Shah munde kurowe savana isimun. The day is going to say this to you is the day you'll feel the pain. How can you allow him and you want us to, hallelujah, you want us to clap hands for him when he's insulting a leader of a party? ZAPU. So the generals took over that program and they said the Congress of the War Veterans is going to be sponsored by the army. So they sponsored that and they manipulated it. And during that time, I had several meetings with Chiwenga, telling him Mugabe did not have the intention of losing Chiwenga because he had signed a covenant in Mozambique or elsewhere to say the Zulus will unite. But Mnangagwa went there, divided them. And the Chiwenga agreed. Mnangagwa was a minister for Parliamentary and Justice and Parliamentary and what. But at the same time being the Vice President. He refused that Matema Tanda, I want Matema Tanda in that executive. That's where Chiwenga missed the point. When I warned him, he supported Tshabangu. He went through with Tshabangu, or hitmen, leaders, took them because of money. So he missed the point. And I'm sure up to today, Chiwenga is blaming himself, is regretting of his actions. Why in the first place did I interact or associate myself with Mnangagwa? Why did I do that? Rugeje comes from Maswingo. He was not in support of this thing. Right. And Mnangagwa knew that after this coup, I'm next. Because he knew Mkabe's idea that as we put the G40, we are planning this G40 thing, I need people who will guide. So the only people in Mpogo there was only one. There was no more Zapu or Ezancetis Mpogo. May soul his rest in peace. Right. So he needed to Chiwenga Lompogo there. Kasukwere and somebody here. And Tsvangirai was to bring in Chamisa. But at a later stage, that's how Chamisa I'm talking about this Chamisa. But they messed up at the plan. Firstly, Chiwenga was invited by Mnangagwa to visit Tsvangirai in his house, convinced him that if you support this coup, we are going to undo this poison of yours, this cancer of yours. We'll take you to the specialist and they will reverse it. Right? Tsvangirai agreed. And they met his people to support the coup. After that, the very same sickness Tsvangirai was going through touched Chiwenga. He was the next target. Started swelling his hands, he changing color, becoming white, what have you. One of his PAs, Brigadier somebody, he had the similar disease of peeling the skin. Right? Who was a PA to him when he was still in the CDF. And when I was watching from a distance, I was now outside Zimbabwe. Said, but this is exactly what happened to John Nkomo. This is exactly what happened to Tsvangirai. Because Tsvangirai, when he was ill, I visited him. The skin was becoming baby-like. The hair becoming very light. And this is what is happening. So the army was going to be very angry, irrespective that Varelius Banda is a brother, if Mnangagwa had touched the Chiwenga. So there were only two things Chiwenga could do: die or sacrifice somebody. So now the issue, how the disease started, nobody speaks about it. Even the media, you people in the media, you're not asking those questions. All what is surfacing is now in South Africa. As if Chiwenga went in South Africa for holiday and he got sick in South Africa and the Marys wanted to kill him there. You are not even asking those questions. But what happened? Why Chiwenga was ferried to South Africa? What was happening? Immediately, the only excuse they can give was, no, in South Africa is no longer safe because his wife wants to kill him. So they took him to India. While in India, because the Indians don't know about this poison, they took him to China. That's where he was saved. And what does he do? He buys the idea it was your wife who wanted to kill you. And he agrees. But you usually watching the YouTube these Nigerian movies with a pot. That pot will make a husband docile. So Chiwenga does not remember that before he went to South Africa, how was he and how was Mary? They completely deleted that information from his head. So the only thing he remembers is when he was with Mary in South Africa in a hospital ward. That's all he remembers. That his hands one time were swelling. One time he was peeling, his skin becoming white, the hair becomes, he doesn't remember about that. He only remembers when he was in South Africa. When he was being told, this nurse says your wife wanted to take off the oxygen. Why did he go to oxygen in the first place? You, the media people, should be interrogating these things, should be asking people, should be asking the ZANU PF people, what happened? How did Chiwenga survive the disease of swelling hands together with Mary? Show them the pictures that you were producing that time. Chiwenga swollen hands with a bandage, Mary swollen hands with a bandage. How was that disease treated? And why was it the same medicine applied to Mary? Why do you only talk about one incident of South Africa? Why? So I hope I have laid a foundation for you if you want this topic to go further. Or I have answered even for your future program.
No, we still have a lot of questions, and I just wanted you to give us a background so that next week we'll know where to start, where to pick it up. Thank you very much for your support, and thank you very much to everyone who was watching. And make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any exciting content uploaded. Mashoko enyu ekupedzisira, last words. I know you have said a lot of people they were asking what needs to be done, what's the next step, and then you have answered that. So I see there's no need for me to keep on reading the same question and matopindura kudara. So your last words.
No, my last words is just encouragement to particularly the young people. I am glad because you young people today, you have social media. I was talking to somebody, one of my daughters this morning. She's saying, Daddy, you know, social media has become so powerful. And which is very true. Social media has become so powerful, so use it. Mobilize one another through the media. Copy what the Kenyans youth did. Copy what the Ugandans are doing now. Copy what Mondana is doing in Mozambique through media. That when you say let's stand up, everybody will be up because the message will go one time. Don't wait for Chamisa to call a rally at the National Hero Stadium or Rufaro to say, hey, vakomana ngatisimukei. Do it as though you know the person that you want to front. You'll come out. So those are my last words of encouragement to all Zimbabweans, young people. We have done our part. I agree we failed you, but please don't sleep. Once you fall down, it's not the end of your journey. You have only fallen down. You have not reached your destination. Wake up and start moving.
Okay.
I thank you.
Thank you very much. There's someone who just said, last question, DJ. I'm not sure which one is the question, the first one or what. And that one is say, tell us about Tshabangu. And I don't think Tshabangu exists during the liberation struggle and stuff. Tshabangu is just like me. I'm not sure. I just ask your question. No, I'm not sure if that Tshabangu is the question that you wanted to ask. So if you're still available, you can ask your question. I'm just gonna give you 2 minutes, and then you ask your question, and then we ask our guest before we let him go. And there's another one. It's just a compliment from Brian Justin. He said, "God bless you, Baba." And let me see if I can read one or two more. Okay, a lot of people, they were just asking about what can be done, and Tsvagirai, and it's up to us now. Don't just complain. At least we need action, and we need to do something. If it means we need to fight on social media, let us all go gun blazing on those ZANU PF posts and on those varakashi vanongoda kuvachitaura zvisina musoro. Ngatishandise zvese zvatinazvo, each and every weapon. Nekuti makanzwa mukuru president vachitaura kuti endai musocial media imomo, pindai muvarakasha, meaning to say kuti vanhu vezanu PF varipo, vanhu who is he versus Chamisa. I can understand that question, and I think I'll just leave your question.
What?
He said, who is he versus Chamisa? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what he's trying to say there, but it's a comment in the comment section, and the next time we'll make sure that we answer that question. And then from Jay Wood, he says Siyabonga Baba, and a lot of people, they are really appreciating. You can see, okay, who is Tshabangu in the Chamisa matrix?
Tshabangu is a ghost. Is what do you call him? Mkoba Chidoma.
A fly by night.
A fly by night.
Yeah.
Chidoma.
Yeah, because
but from a serious note, the person who is asking this question should have asked the Tshabangu, where are you coming from?
Who are you?
Because Tshabangu is doing these things right in front of you. You are watching. And you are not coming on the social media. At times I got very angry when I was seeing Tshabangu being interviewed and nobody was coming to counter his interview. Right from the beginning. He was even unable to articulate his own position, even to say anything about himself. But I did not see anyone coming to the social media to attack that. Many questions were never asked from Tshabangu. You see, I don't want to speak about this. We'll continue speaking about these things. Tshabangu is Chidoma. Chidoma is what do you call these things now? They are not calling them. Is a drone. Tuma drones tinongotuma chete kana kanoputswa ikoko ndizvozvo akadzoki, kana kadzoka kakandawo bhomba kaperera ipapa kachadzokeri futi kunotora rimwe bhomba. That's how Tshabangu is. So it is up to you, the youth. Stop this thing of looking at the things from a political party point of view. In that hour, since 1999, Chamisa has never moved from the national agenda put in place by the Tsvangirai leadership in 1999. Munofoma zvimapati zvenyu zvoita sei, it doesn't move. Our national agenda is one Zimbabwe, one people. That's what he say.
Right, my questions are apere. And finally say, Ansi, DJ, please bring Tshabangu here, please. This channel is big. Thanks for the compliment. I will see what we can do, but according to me, I don't see his relevance. Keeping on giving him exposure and asking him the same things all over again. We need to focus on the things that are important at the moment. Would rather look for gift of Stalos, someone with the direction, someone who's looking into the future, and then we give them the platform than to give a person like Tshabangu. What's new? What is it that is going to bring on the table? He's just gonna come here. We insult him, we shout at him, and then what's next? You see, so I don't think it's relevant. And then there's
I don't think so.
You see, there's someone who's saying,
kofana na Chiwenga akaguma kuziva nhoroondo yake South Africa zvakaitika before that he doesn't know. So Tshabangu anongoguma musi akaita ma-recalls. From there he doesn't know anything.
And those people, they don't learn, they didn't see zvakaitika during the time of your lockdown. Pakatorwa ma MDC offices na Monzora. And where is Monzora right now? And now there comes the Tshabangu, and they don't even learn.
No, they don't. They don't. There's no iota of learning. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we are done. There's another question that came in. I don't know if you can allow us to just go to this. I think that's the last one.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's a question or what, but he said, I lost respect for the war vets because instead of being a national organization, they alleged themselves to a political party and not the country. And don't you think these are okay? That one is not anything. Yeah, it's just someone who's commenting. He said, "I lost respect. The war veterans, they were supposed to stand on their own as an organization and not to align themselves with a political party. They were supposed to be independent." But looking also answering on that one, I can just throw in some things there. Looking at that, it's not the war veterans only. We have got ZEC is captured. We've got the judiciary system is captured. And the moment you say you want to be independent, you are moving away from ZANU PF, Watom Tenges, Watom Panduki, and that won't happen. So I don't know what happened. I'm just saying, according to Nezwa and those, you are only 2 cents. Could the moment they want to amukuru apamatadza, Watom Panduki, watengwa, wakutengesa. So maybe maovet pawakabvawo kuhondo, if they tried to say kuti akomana isusu takumira sevarwi venyika and we won't be involved in national politics, in politics dzese idzi, and tichange takazvimiririra, maybe they were going to be labeled as vatengesi also. And it's just me talking, putting my 2 cents, but you can throw in your ideas.
Okay. Thank you for the trying of answering that question. Let me just put this in a proper perspective. I like such a question, very challenging indeed, but because they provoke us to tell the truth or to answer to make other people understand what is a war veteran. We are not like university student unions that you only serve for your term you are in university, and after that you throw your back out. War veterans in the first place are not war veterans from the beginning. You are recruited by a certain political party. And within that political party, you are selected to serve in its military wing. So in our case, ZANU were recruiting the youth. When they get to their next destination, they are selected. And I want people to understand that it's not everyone who crossed during the war who is a war veteran, who fought in the war. Some were deployed in civilian spheres. Some went for military training. So when we came back, those political parties that recruited us were still leading. And were still a part of it. Were commonly known as armed politicians. Right. Then when after independence we realized that no, this is not what we're being told. We formed the organization or the association, which is now commonly known as the Zimbabwe National Liberation War Veterans Association. It was the time now we're saying we don't want to align ourselves with political leadership. We wanted to remind them what they promised us during the training, during recruitment, and what we're going to get after independence. So we formed that association. And this association became very active between 1997, 98, and 99. It became very, very effective. This is why that association is responsible for mobilizing the masses to repossess the land. It is the same, that association that forced the government to pay 50,000 per war veteran. The very same pension that war veterans are receiving today. It is this association that established the Heroes Acres in all 10 provinces up to the national. This is association. This association is the very same association that forced the, what do you call this, the BEAM, the BEAM, what do you call it, that free education for children, something like that. Yeah. Right. It is this association that advocated for that. So we are not a product of ourselves. We are a product of a political orientation. We are a product of a political party. So we did not associate ourselves. We were members of ZANU PF, ZAPU, and ZANU. We are members of those. But when we realized that we're now becoming much more destitute, I'm not saying we achieved what we wanted to achieve. We are still all veterans are the worst destitute today. But these are some of the things you can attribute to the war veteran and say to these war veterans, say, indeed, we remember you managed to get free education. You managed to get the 50,000, though it was not enough, though it collapsed the economy at that time, because I know that there is something what they call the Black Friday. It was a dark Friday when Mugabe announced. And this money was stopped by the ZANU PF politicians in Mutare in a conference. When we had said we need so much per month, 30 from 50,000, we need to get so much per month, which is not going to be allowed to devalue. And the ZANU PF members in the Mutare conference rejected that proposal. And Mugabe couldn't go further to give that. But that's the association. But agreeing with you, to that we should be independent. Yes. Yes. You will be saying why Chiwenga is the vice president of a party. Why is Verelius Banda listening to Mnangagwa? These are army commanders who are we are a product of this revolution, this association. They are benefiting from what we fought for as war veterans. They are getting the same pension. Right? We established the heroes, acres all over. Right? That is the association we formed. But how do we really say we are now, we are moving from being association, we are now a union? Let's say Zimbabwe National Liberation War Veterans Union. We can be sued and sue. Are Zimbabweans ready to fund that?
I see.
Right. So the only problem I can agree with you is that, yes, being a youth of a political party, and eventually you are subjected to go and to border gates and get trained as a military person. And then how do you disassociate yourself? It's a very painful experience. I agree with that. But I just wanted to put this clear to say we were never a separate movement. We were recruited by the party. We came back when we noticed that the party is no longer doing what we agreed in that social contract. We formed an association which is responsible for the creation of what I've told you. Right. Is there any other question?
No, not at all, not at all. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much. I appreciate. I will create a poster and then I will let our viewers know when are we going to have our next discussion on General Chiwenga, and then we'll circulate it. Thank you very much for everyone who was watching and who will watch this live stream. It's going to be on the platform, so make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any exciting content uploaded. Baba wangu ndinokutenda izvikuru, and I really appreciate you.
No, tinotenda vanoteerera ndivo vanoita kuti tirambe tichitaura.
Okay, yeah, just a quick one. Okay. No, you can say, you can finish up. You can finish up.
No, I was saying, vasingateereri tisipo tisingatauri. Kana vachiteerera vachibvunza mibvunzo, and I just want to urge all Zimbabweans, please. I am not an encyclopedia. There are many people who know what I do not know. When I'm coming to the platform, I'm not coming to lecture. I am coming to this platform to reveal what is happening and leave it to the Zimbabweans to see where it went wrong and how we can correct that. And particularly the youth, please. I'm not, I repeat, I'm not an encyclopedia that I have everything in my hands. If you have a different view from what I'm saying, go to the channel's comment section, give your opinion, we'll accept that, and people will, in fact, the judges are the listeners and viewers of this channel.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much once again for watching the whole video. See you next week.
Thank you.
Zimbabwe, mutakure yoti family, tibereke yoti family, mutakure yoti family. Shingare mamambo, tibereke yoti family, shingare mamambo. Sipetsoka dzenyu mambo, tanyengetora mambo, mutakure itifambe, 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 mutakure itifambe. Shingare mamambo, shingare mamambo. Kumatenga, mutakure yoti fambe, mutakure yoti yabuke, mutakure yoti yabuke, mutakure yoti yabuke, mutakure